Welcome to episode 2 of You Got This, Sis. Today, we're going to be talking about self-care for women and why it is important to have a self-care routine. Right? So, welcome again and thanks for joining us. Okay, so self-care, it's the latest rage and everyone's talking about it, and on Instagram everything is about self-care Sunday and self-care this, self-care that. But what is self-care really? Right? What is self-care? And do you have a self-care routine? Self-care is the art of taking time out for yourself as a woman to develop a routine that balances you and centers you and focuses on me time, right? So by practicing self-care, we give ourselves a chance to step away and breathe, avoiding burnout from taking care of the kids or running the business or the job or even our relationships. It's a time that belongs to you as a woman, for you to de-stress, relax, and just get in touch with your inner core of who you are. Right? It's not just a routine. It's something that you do to bring balance to your life. Right? A self-care routine is needed because it helps us to get back to that place when we do too much for too long, and it helps us to focus and help you to have mental clarity. What is it that you want? What is it that you need as a woman to make you feel better about your mental health and where you need to be as a woman? Right? So we are going to dive into the meat of the matter. Right? You know, we're all about empowering women, inspiring women to be their best selves. So today we're going to give you 11 self-care habits of successful women. Right? We want you to go out there and kick ass and attack life and do all you want to do. But remember, you need to love you too. Okay? So let's go, ladies. All right. So we know that being successful comes with a massive to-do list. Right? We need to take care of the babies. We need to go to work. We need to take care of the husband. We need to keep up with the friends. We need to run our own business. This is referring to those of us who are entrepreneurs. You know, as women, we simply do so much for others, and we do not put ourselves first often enough. But without giving our body, our mind, and our overall selves a break and taking care of us, we cannot possibly be successful, because your health will fail. Everything is just going to go downhill from there, and we need to be able to be on top of that, right? If your boat not floating, nobody else's boats will float. Okay? Women are the rock of marriages, of homes, of businesses. We keep the ship running, and if it's not running, then that's where the problem comes in. So successful women formulate habits that help them achieve and maintain their success in whatever form that is for them. right? These self-care habits of successful women can help you prioritize self-care and incorporate it into your day without feeling like you're simply adding more to your plate, right? So, number 1, she makes time to exercise. This is a big one, ladies. She makes time to exercise, right? So self-care really starts with looking after your body. It's the only one we have. It's the only one we are given. And we need to take care of it, right? We need to take care of it and make sure that it's in tip-top shape. Sure, some days are lazy and watching Netflix counts as a rest day. Who hasn't done that? I know I'm definitely guilty of that. And that's good for self-care too, to just de-stress sometimes. But you also need to make sure that your body is strong and healthy. You don't need to be a gym junkie to make it happen. Although if that's your thing, that's cool too. Lots of love to those gym bunnies. You just need to make a commitment to yourself to move more and then move again. So then, for example, let's say you want to get in 5 minutes on Monday, 7 minutes on Tuesday, 3 minutes on Thursday. That is what you do, and develop a routine, right? To get your body moving in some way, shape, or form. So you could start by making time to walk a few days a week, right? Including exercise, like parking further away from your office so you have a bit more walking to do, or doing squats as you unload the dishwasher, or squatting while you're reading. I don't know if that's a thing, but squatting while you're reading, that may help. Point is, it all adds up, right? Make a commitment to making the time to exercise. Trust me, your body will love you for it. And this is coming from somebody who has always hated working out, but I realize when you make it fun and when it's something that you actually want to do, then it becomes something you look forward to. For example, I like dancing, and I like being on a treadmill, and I like cycling, and for me that motivates me to get up and go and to get it done. Right? So that's that on exercising. So point 2, she understands the value of alone time. Big one. You need time for yourself, right, to tackle your busy week. So if you're an introvert, chances are you already know that you need alone time to recharge and to re-energize. But extroverts can also benefit from this time too. Like during time alone, we're given the opportunity to be with ourselves, reflect on who we are, where we are, and where we want to be. The problem is, though, as women, the busier we are, the less alone time we seem to have. Right, ladies? Everyone can relate to that. So creating this alone time and finding the value in it is so important. You can combine it with exercise or self-care, or just use it to meditate and reflect in gratitude, right? Whatever you do, make it happen. Right, so that's point 2. Let's make it happen, ladies. All right, so moving on to point 3. She rewards herself with desires, not food. Right? Even though I'm a cake and wine kind of girl, but let me explain. While I do love cake and wine and a good dish of pasta, There's a big difference between a treat every now and then and rewarding yourself with food. Rather than saying, when I achieve this, I'm going to eat this. A successful woman sets goals with rewards that are her wants and desires, such as a weekend away or a massage or doing something that she's been looking forward to for a long time, right? Giving yourself tangible rewards that aren't food ensures that you keep up with this whole idea of looking after your body and your mind. This means you won't feel guilty about your rewards and are more likely to achieve them rather than self-sabotage. So you don't have to say, oh, I'm never going to eat this pizza, I'm never going to eat this cake, I'm never going to drink this glass of wine. No, because you would have had it in moderation and not from cutting your eyes at that cake every time you see it because you're starving yourself from cake and you're on a diet, right? So ladies, moderation. And remember to reward yourself. You deserve this. Okay, you are worthy of rewards and being treated like the princess you are. Okay, you got this, sis. Okay, so moving on to number 4. She schedules her self-care like she would any other appointment, right? So if you had an important meeting with a client or even with a potential client, you wouldn't miss it, would you? You'd schedule it in and make sure that you're there. So why should you treat self-care any differently? Why not give ourselves the level of importance that we place on others? That's a big one, ladies. Why do we not treat ourselves as important as others? We put ourselves on the back burner every single day to please others, to make sure that the ship is always running. But we put ourselves last. No, ladies, we need to stop doing that and make time for ourselves, right? So when setting your schedule and intentions for the week, be sure to allow enough time and even block out time for self-care, right? Me personally, I'm off for self-care Sunday, 3 hours on a Sunday. I'm completely booked out for me time. I am doing whatever makes me feel happy, what makes me feel like, hey, I can tackle the week again, because this period has allowed me to recharge, right? So if you have written it down and scheduled it, you are far more likely to stick with it and make it happen than not stick with it at all. Okay, so let's get that in, ladies. Write it down in your journal, put it on a sticky pad, put it on a piece of paper and stick it where you can see it. I will schedule self-care time for myself this week because I deserve it. Okay, and you're going to look back at it and read it every single day for 7 days until it becomes a part of you and you start to think of self-care at the time that you need to schedule for yourself. Okay? Moving on. Point 5. She understands the value of the word no. Who thought that no could be positive? How many times have you said no this week? Right? So both yes and no's are two of the most powerful words that we use. Unfortunately, we seem to use yes far too often when we really want to be saying no, and we should be saying no. How many times have you ever committed to something because you just couldn't say no? You wanted to, but you felt guilty for it or obligated to say yes. I've been in that trap one too many times, and I've just given in for a peaceful life. I have learned as a woman to learn to say more, no more, and it has made me feel lighter, right? So no is a word you need to be comfortable with saying, because when you say no to others, remember, you're saying yes to yourself. You're saying yes to giving yourself that little extra time to putting yourself first and putting your priorities first. It's okay to say no. It really is. I promise you. Number 6. She eats healthy most of the time. Boy, can I relate to this. Even the most hardcore health nuts will tell you that eating perfectly healthy 100% of the time is an unrealistic goal. Hear, hear, amen. Let the church say amen. I cannot envision giving up cake or red stripe beer or and chocolate. Oh my God, I'm addicted to chocolate. Or any of those things that I really, really love to eat 100% healthy. The very thought gives me a headache. So what I do is I try to eat 80% healthy and 20% unhealthy, so I'm not depriving myself of anything. And I notice my weight has been stable. It doesn't go up, down. It's just stable because I allow myself to have a few guilty pleasures now and then. So as soon as you tell yourself you're not allowed to have something, guess what happens? Yeah, you want it, and you want it so bad that you cave and give in, and you have it, and then you end up feeling guilty. So it's a vicious cycle. So rather than feel guilty when that chocolate, delicious dark chocolate, makes its way into your hands, own it, enjoy it, and don't regret it. Don't feel bad for having it. It's a freaking bar of chocolate. The whole world isn't going to cave in because you ate a chocolate bar. Like, I promise you, the world won't end. Seriously, it will not end. The sky's not falling. Right? Tell yourself how amazing it was, and then kick right back to your healthy eating. You can even go as far as saying an affirmation with it. I am healthy. I deserve this. I am in shape. My body loves what I do to it. Right? So you don't have that guilty feeling of being a cheat. Right? So it's so important to nourish our body with good foods. Sometimes this is harder than others, but if you set your intention and start your day in a healthy way, it's much easier to stick with, right? Plan your meals if that works better for you. Avoid grocery shopping when you're hungry. Boy, can I relate to that, and picking up all this stuff that I didn't need. Or even get healthy meals delivered. Whatever you need to do to ensure you're giving your body the best you can, then do it. If it's taking vitamins, if it's working out, if it's drinking more water, if it's taking a walk, whatever it is, do it. Right? Your body's a pretty awesome piece of machinery. Look after it, ladies. I'm sure it will thank you in the long run. Right? Point 7. She flexes her creative muscles. Right? We all have that creative flair, right? Some of us don't realize it yet, but it's there just bubbling inside of us. Each of us has different talents and skills and all of that. Whether you love writing or drawing or creating or making or designing or anything in between, right? Flexing your creative muscles activates a different area of the brain to the analytical side and gets you thinking in different ways, right? You don't have to be a brilliant artist or storyteller to be creative. Find what you love doing most and do more of that. Or if you're not quite sure what you love, start experimenting. Take a class, learn a skill you always wanted to learn, and get creative. Right? So we all have some forms of creativity in us. We just have to find it. So good luck searching, ladies. All right, so number 8, she makes little life upgrades. Right? So what that means is giving yourself little upgrades in life can help to make you feel like $1,000,000 without actually spending $1,000,000. It's all about bringing little luxuries into our lives and appreciating them. What in your life makes you feel cheap, poor, or ashamed? Think about it. Is there anything in your life that makes you feel less than, unworthy, ashamed of it, right? For example, do you absolutely hate using shampoo and conditioner from a lesser known brand? Right? Are you standing in the shower visualizing that you could be using Pantene or Tresemme or a brand like that, but instead you have drugstore shampoo and conditioner? Right? So if that's something that bothers you, maybe you should try buying it directly from a salon instead. While it will cost you more, it also lasts longer. And every time you wash your hair, you'll feel luxurious and spectacular, and you'll feel amazing, and you walk out with a glow, and you're confident because it's so much more. So it gives you a feeling of a goddess. Yeah, and I'm sure your hair will feel nicer too, right? Maybe you cringe every time you have a friend over and you hand them a chipped or old or mismatching wine glass, right? If that makes you feel self-conscious, then upgrade to new, beautiful wine glasses, right? And you'll be excited to have friends over and over again. It's the little things that make you feel really better about yourself and your lives. For me, I started to invest into high-end scented candles because they made my bedroom feel like a dream, and it felt so amazing with silk sheets, and I felt like going to bed for me was a amazing process, because those were some of the little changes that I made in my environment, right? So these little upgrades don't have to cost a fortune, but the impact they have on the way that you feel about yourself is amazing, right? You don't have to go out and buy yourself a new car. Well, unless you want to. But maybe pay for your car to be washed every few weeks so it looks good, right? Clean up the inside of your car, put a scent in it that you like. As they say, your car is a reflection of who you are. Is your car messy? Is there junk all over? Are your seats ripped? I think you know where I'm going with this, ladies. Clean your stuff up, okay? Go to the car wash every couple of weeks, or as soon as the car is dirty, clean up the inside, have it smelling nice inside. So when your passengers step in, they're like, wow, I love to drive with you. Being in your car is so amazing. because you've spent that time to make you feel good, right? So the littlest things make the biggest difference, right? So let's always remember that the littlest things make the biggest difference, right? So moving on to number 9, she connects with others, right? So how often do you make time to connect with those you love? Think about it. Just as we need to reconnect with ourselves, it's also important to make time to connect with others, your other girlfriends, your bestie, network, people that you work with, maybe your boss, maybe your cousin, definitely your mama, and make those calls, connect with people, check in to see if they're okay. Right now we are going through a pandemic and everyone's locked in and cut off and inside, so that human connection that we're used to, it's not necessarily there anymore because we're all cut off and inside basically. So check in on people, make sure that they're okay, and a lot of us are at the stage where we are so alone, being locked in inside. We are suffering from depression and anxiety and all these things. So I'm sure that speaking to somebody else will help you to maybe feel just a little bit lighter and remind you that you are not alone. We are in this together, okay? And we're all gonna make it out on the other side. Come hell or high water, we're all in this together. And we just have to keep lifting each other up until we see the sunshine again. Right? So whether it's scheduling a coffee and catching up with a friend, or making time to have family dinner via Zoom or Skype or whatever else it is, make connection with others a priority, right? And it's not only for the ones we love, right? As I said, networking with your boss and checking in with people outside of your immediate family, right, can pull you out of your comfort zone and help you make new connections and expand your horizons. And you never know just who you might connect with and advance your career or your business in any way, right? So get connecting, people. All right, number 10, she lets negativity go, right? So we attract more of what we already have. So if you have a whole lot of negativity, guess what is going to keep coming your way? Ding, ding, ding. More negativity, right? Easier said than done, right? So the biggest change in my attitude came when I decided to stop letting the little things get to me. That was it. I just decided to be more positive and not negative, right? So I just decided that I was not going to let that happen. Instead of complaining about people who are doing things wrong, I reminded myself that, hey, they might have a different outlook or perception on things. So I couldn't change them. So I had to do a self-assessment and work on me and figure out what needed to be changed and worked on. Right? So instead of getting angry at every little thing and every person that made me angry, right, I use the time to take deep breaths, right, center my brain. So my breathing technique is right, so I take a deep breath in on the deep breath out on the sa. So it's And I find out that it helps me to calm down like immediately. I think it's all about sending more oxygen to the brain and taking it out of that fight or flight mode, so you're able to think more calmly, I should say, instead of reacting in anger, right? So mark you, it's not a easy thing to do at all, right? It's not an easy thing to do, right? Because holding on to negativity becomes a habit, and it can be difficult to break. You get up and the first thing out of your mouth is like, Lord, I'm late for work this morning. Like, traffic is on the road. Oh my God, my nail broke. Instead trying to say, thank you, Lord, for waking me up this morning. Thank you for the beautiful weather. Thank you for this coffee that I have to drink. Thank you for the car that I have to drive. Thank you for the job I have to go to. Like, a lot of people do not have a lot to be grateful for. They do not have a lot to be grateful for. So, my dearly beloved sisters, I want you to take a look inside your lives, and you're going to think about 5 things that you can be grateful for right in this moment. And you are going to say thank you. Okay, I also recommend having a gratitude journal for this, right? So this brings me into my next point 11, right? So she spends time with gratitude. One of my favorite words, gratitude, ladies. This is a life hack. It's a life changer. Like, I cannot tell you how much, like, gratitude has changed my life, like, so much more for the better, right? I keep a gratitude journal and I fill it out for 5 minutes every morning. All the things that I'm grateful for, I fill it out at night before I go to bed. All the things I'm grateful for, and it keeps me in a happy, positive mindset, because I focus on what I'm grateful for instead of complaining. I have a cup of tea. Thank you, Lord, for this cup of tea that I'm able to have, even if it's just making some tea in a microwave. Point is, I have a microwave. I can have tea. Not a lot of people have that opportunity, right? So we cannot possibly expect to be given more of what we want when we don't show gratitude for what we already have, right? If you don't appreciate what you already have, how will you appreciate more? There'll be no space on your plate, right? So spending time with gratitude each day not only puts out there that we're thankful for what we already have in our lives, but it allows us to refocus on all the good in our lives and eliminate the negative, right? So just spending a few minutes each day reflecting on what we're grateful for can make all the difference. It doesn't have to be deep and meaningful all the time. Right, some days it can just be a quick thank you. Some days I'm truly grateful, right, for my hot cup of tea in the morning and my gorgeous, I love mugs, my gorgeous mugs to drink it from, right? I know it seems shallow to some people, but being grateful for those little things makes it easier to be grateful for the bigger things, right? So soon with practice, you'll find yourself showing gratitude all day long without even realizing it. Being grateful for the red light, right? It gives you a chance to stretch. Or the speeding fine, right? A reminder to slow down. It might seem like a stretch, but it's up to you how far you want to take your gratitude, right? While it may seem like your plate is loaded enough and adding any of these to your list seems like too much, remember, they are habits designed to be formed one at a time and become so much more of your day that you do them without even thinking. Start with one and see how you go. Then slowly add more, right? For building habits, I have found the fabulous app to be a lifesaver, right? I love this app. I wake up to it. I use it in the afternoon. I go to sleep with it. Like, it helps me to deep breathe and meditate and drink water, take my vitamins, sleep better, like exercise. Like, oh my God, this app, I love it. So I recommend it to all you ladies, right? Check it out. It's on the Apple Store and it's also on Google Play Store. So you can find it either way. Right? So you'll find out that as you add more calming habits to your life, you end up with more time for self-care and less time for stress. So who doesn't love more time for self-care? I know I do. Right? So here is to creating a beautiful self-routine. So what you're going to do is you are going to develop a self-care routine that makes you happy. Okay? Whether it is praying when you wake up first thing in the morning, having a cup of coffee, or it's writing in your gratitude journal every day. Whatever it is, right? You may even have a more detailed self-care routine, whereas on a Sunday you have a bubble bath with scented candles and you write in your journal and you do self-assessment and you do your nails and you take care of your hair and you do all of that. That's okay too. That is a wonderful thing, because self-care isn't selfish, right? Self-care means taking care of yourself so you can take care of others, right? Which all self-care means is taking care of yourself, right? Which is vital for your health and your well-being, right? Meeting, identifying, and working on your needs, right? So you can be a better person for everyone else, right? Because when you're so much better, everyone else benefits from that new self-love that develops within you. You're shining so much more than when you're walking around angry and bitter and upset about everything. How can you give love when you're angry and bitter? Those two things, they don't go together. So if you don't have a self-care routine today, I'm encouraging you to start and develop your self-care routine day by day until you find something that works for you and something that can help you to be the woman that you want to be. You know, so just to recap, or 11 self-care habits of successful women. 1, she makes time to exercise. 2, she understands the value of alone time. 3, she rewards herself with desires, not food. 4, she schedules self-care like she would any other appointment. 5, she understands the value of the word no. 6, she eats healthily most of the time. 7, she flexes her creative muscles. 8, she makes little life upgrades. 9, she connects with others. 10, she lets negativity go. 11, she spends time with gratitude. Okay, ladies, so this is where I wrap it up today. So, I have to get to my self-care Sunday, and I'm looking forward to it. So, take the time you need, develop your routine. As I said, we're all in this together to motivate, inspire, and love each other and pull each other along. So send me your voice messages. Let me know if there's anything in particular that you would like to talk about, right? So this is where we wrap it up. And always remember, you got this, sis. Okay? I'm rooting for you.